Okay, so good morning everyone. Today we're going to discuss about irrigation and drainage principles. So this will be the third and last coverage of our prelim exam. So it will be on the week of September 22 to 26. So first, after discussing katong mga atmosphere, weather, climate, hydrologic cycle, and then we proceeded to discussing the water resources, the earth, water balance, and the water resources of Philippines. So we have three: rainwater, uh, surface water, and groundwater, and also the properties of water, the physical and chemical properties, and then the DNR water quality guidelines and general effluent standards. We now proceed to discussing on irrigation and drainage principles. So, at the end of this lesson, it is expected that you will be able to define and describe the importance of irrigation. So, ano nga ba ang importance ng irrigation and drainage? So, always sila tandem. If you have irrigation, it's not pwede na wala kang drainage. So, dapat irrigation and drainage. Next, we have to compare and contrast the different irrigation methods. So, we have different types of irrigation. Yung pinaka-common siguro is yung basin irrigation under surface irrigation or simple na kanang sprinkler method na to pero sa mga pagbisbis lang sa mga tanom. And then we have to identify and classify the various irrigation structures and then calculate efficiency. So dili na to apilan ang requirements and losses. Dili na to mag-focus sa efficiencies to simplify the discussion. And then last, we have to explain the types of agricultural drainage system. So this will be our topic outline. We will discuss irrigation, so its definition, importance, the methods, the classes of structures, and or irrigation efficiencies. And then for drainage, we will discuss definition, its importance also, similar to irrigation, and then the types of drainage. So we have different types of drainage pod. If irrigation, it can be surface, subsurface, um, ano tawag dito? The sprinkler, the drip irrigation, your drainage also can be surface and subsurface. So, dili ta magsugod sa irrigation. So, for me, no, kanang, ang irrigation man dyan ang common nga term madunggan. Kasagara, ang basta mo og irrigation siguro inyong manonan kikatong sa mga palayan o sa mga basakan. Pero, irrigation, it can be anything na kanang method na mag-apply ka og water sa tong crops. So, irrigation has been a cornerstone sa agricultural development ever since nag-start ang people to settle down. Kasi dati, um, mga forager man ang mga tao. So, they transfer from places to places. And then they hunt. And if ubos na yung source nila or ubos na ang wala sila mga forage, maglipat na po sila to another place. And since they started to settle down, so nag-start na sila to farm. And to sustain those farms, syempre, they need artificial application of water. So, dili lang mag-depend sa rainfall. So, as society's transition from nomadic lifestyles, katong mag-forage sila, maglipat sila, mag-hunt sila, and then to settling farming communities, the need to manage the water resources efficiently became important. So, muna siya itong tinatawag of irrigation. That's how irrigation started. So, as the need arises. So, need man nila to sustain their farms, their communities, then they started to apply irrigation. So, how do we define irrigation? So, irrigation, basically, by definition, is the artificial application. Artificial meaning that dili siya natural, so it needs the aid of mankind. So, ang natural application of water, so syempre, sa rainfall, part sa hydrologic cycle, or pagmadaanan ng mga runoff, mga streams, yung na. So, it's the artificial application of water to the soil to provide moisture needed for the growth of plants, particularly in the aspect of agriculture, we're talking about crops. So it is mainly used to add water when natural sources like rainfall, groundwater, or mga runoff, natural sources, rainfall, flood, groundwater, which you can introduce doon is insufficient. So, kung saan man dito magbisbis o tanom, di ba? Or magbisbis sa inyong mga garden. So, if wala, kung mag-ulan, edi nanatay source of water. So, if at times na kanang insufficient ang rain or insufficient ang moisture sa lupa, so that's the time when we apply artificial when we do artificial application of water to our plots or our farms. Now, the main purpose of irrigation basically is to add water. Add water to the soil to keep our crops healthy and growing. So, add water to the soil to supply moisture essential for plant growth or crop growth. So, it helps protect crops during short droughts, kana sa panahon nga pilakad na walay ulan, so syempre mag-wilt na na yung mga crops. So, it protects crops during short droughts. Cools, tara, it cools the soil and air to create a better environment for plants. So, syempre, if tao gani, di ba, igangan sa tapos mag-take a bath to cool down. Similarly, ang lupa, eventually, because of solar radiation, nag-init siya. Tapos, aside from supplying water to the crops, water also cools down the environment of the soil and the atmosphere. So it also helps in making a favorable plant growth or crop growth. It also washes away excess salts, softens mga layers, tillage ponds, supports helpful soil microbes, and also enhance fertilizer application. So we have this thing called fertigation. So when we say fertigation, it's just a combination of fertilizer plus irrigation. So fertilizer plus irrigation is fertigation. So minsan, ginagawa ng farmers is they dilute na sabay na sa pag-irrigate, pag ang tubig, diluted na yung mga liquid fertilizer. So, parang, isa na lang ang trabaho. So, instead of magtapang fertilizer and another work for applying irrigation, isa na lang. So, which enhances the application of both your fertilizer and irrigation. Now, what is the importance of irrigation? Again, diba, ang purpose ng irrigation is to apply artificial application of water to the crops to support its growth. So, irrigation increases the yield of crops because it allows our mga magsasaka at mag-uuma to grow crops like wheat and maize na sometimes um, dati nga 1 year cropping lang and because of irrigation, nakapromote na siya o twice na mag-crop every year. So, for example, there is a Philippines, no, irrigated rice fields. So, we have irrigated rice fields and we have rice fields na isalig na lang sa ulan or katong ubang rice fields na basakan na wala sila naka-connect sa irigasyon sa gobyerno sa NIA, sa National Irrigation Administration. So, sa Philippines, study says that those irrigated rice fields, those rice fields na connected sa supply ng irigasyon, such as in Central Luzon, ang Central Luzon man ang dito ang lugar sa Philippines na heavily rice conduit sila, rice producing region. So the Central Luzon produces higher harvest compared to rain-fed areas. Why? Because again, in such as in the case of your rice, they need kasi standing water to also na dili lang sa pag add og tubig sa crops but also to minimize the growth of weeds and pests. So, irrigation also supports the national economy. So it also supports, it adds income sa overall income ng Philippines by boosting exports of our high-value crops such as mango, mango, ginaras na itong mga unaan, bananas, dito sa Davao region, pineapple sa Bukidnon. which require consistent water supply. So, yung mga plantation crops, no, they need consistent water supply because it is a big investment. Possible na naatay mga plantation crops na dinagkuan na kumpanya sa mga ay pagtanong sa mga crops because na may irrigation. So, for farmers, irrigation provides extra income because again, it enables multiple cropping. Na kung dati, once a year lang pwede makatanom o rice kasi ginawit lang kung kano na ay kusog na supply sa rain, kung sa rainy season, tapos if dili rainy season, edi uh, stagnansa, pahuway sa ang field. So, but with irrigation, possible na ang multiple cropping cycles per year instead of just one. So, making our land productive, more intensive, especially in the regions, again, sa Cagayan Valley, rice producing regions sa Philippines, Cagayan Valley and Ilocos, where irrigation systems are well established. So when you talk about established irrigation systems, established machinery in the rice aspect, ito did not sa Luzon areas in Cagayan Valley and your Ilocos region. So, irrigation water, so paano nga ba, di ba, when we define irrigation again, it is the artificial application of water. So, how is it applied? So, irrigation water is applied directly to crop using the different methods depending on the type of soil, depende kung saang landscape, so kung flat ba siya, or medyo hilly, or hindi siya pantay, or depende po sa supply of your water. If it's abundant or limited lang yung supply of water, it also depends on the farm size. So, say for example, kung backyard lang yung garden, so hindi po ka pinagkuhan ng mga irrigation system. Kato na po na to ang sprinkler irrigation in the mode of mga sprinkler cans. So, farm size and crop type. So, kani sila mga factors na determine kung unsa nga irrigation system ang imong i-apply. So, it could be surface, it could be sprinkler, drip, or trickle irrigation. So, there are lots of different types of application system. Hindi siya, dagan pa na siya mga other types. So, kani sila ang mga three common methods of irrigation. So, dili ta magsugod kay surface irrigation. Ang surface irrigation, or also known as flood irrigation. So, by that time, syempre mo na rin ka ng flood ka ng standing water, ka ng pag binaha ang palgod. So, surface irrigation means letting water flow by gravity. Letting water flow by gravity across the field. So, application of water by gravity flow of water to the surface of the field. So, pwede siya, dahil siya different types. This can be flooding the whole area. Pwede siya. Flooding the whole area, just like in our rice paddies or sa ating basakan. So, when we talk about flooding the whole area, kung asa ginatanom mo yung mga crop dire, that's what we call basin irrigation. So, basin, rag, langgana, good, diba? Reform ka o langgana. So, it could also be guiding water through small channels or strips called furrows or borders. So, para irrigation, kani siya kaya, example, ani ken, sa isa ka farm somewhere sa barangay science, ka-visit me dati sa ATI, in a training. So, para irrigation ang ibuhat kay ang mga tomato, I mean, eggplant rather. Eggplant, dari ka tanom, tapos dari na lang ginapadagan ang water, ginapaagas. It could also be that method, or also it could also be in a border or strips of land. So when we talk about border irrigation, it's relatively larger than furrow, more of basin and furrow combined together. That's what you have, the border irrigation. So many rice farms in the Philippines use this method in surface irrigation because it's simple, it fits also flat or gently sloping land. So surface irrigation is suitable lang sa mga relatively patag or medyo patag na mga land. Hindi siya pwede sa mga very sloping So, ato isa-isa hangtong different types. So, diri ta sugod ni basin irrigation. So, basin irrigation is the most common method for rice grown on flat land or in terraces. Again, pwede in mga basin irrigation sa mga terraces, sa mga slopy areas, as long as pag terrace kasi, sloping areas tapos kuan siya, land grading. So, slope, hilly na siya na area pero where your crop is planted is flat. So, ano, hilly na area pero naman kay mga terrace nga, hagdan-hagdan. So, every step sa inyong hagdan or sa inyong terrace is flat. So, pwede gyapon mga basin irrigation. So, in this type of irrigation, your farmers create flat areas called basins kani. Nag-create sila ng mga flat areas called basins. Ano po siya basin? Isa ni ka-basin, isa na siya ka-basin. Surrounded by low walls called bonds. Bonds or sa ato kay pilapil. So, kanang bitang kalutan. Lingaw siya no, kanang maghimo og pilapil. Kape siya, lapok siya, pero it's somehow fulfilling because pag magkalot ang pagpilapil man good, diri ra mo ka mag around that area tapos imo siyang ipatong-patong tapos medyo di pa ang luta pero since mainitan naman dito na din ta maglakaw-lakaw sa ginatawag na pagpilapil. So this method is widely used in places such as the rice terraces in the Banawe or the flatlands in Mindanao. So basins are flat areas of land surrounded by low bonds. So kung yung basin, kaning whole area where your crop is planted. Pag meron ka bonds, katutong mga ihang boundary layer. So ginatawag na to pilapil. Pilapil or pilapil. Hindi sure pilapil gyapon siya sa Bisaya, pero in Tagalog, it is in Filipino rather, it is tilapia. So bonds prevent the water from flowing to the adjacent field. So asa man ni suitable ang imong basin irrigation? So your basin irrigation is adaptable again sa mga small, gentle, or mga uniform ang land slope. Pag illegal siya, as long as naka-terrace siya, where your crop is planted is flat, suitable ang yung basin. It's also adaptable sa mga soils na moderate or hinay ang iyang infiltration rate katong kung wala yung surface, medyo hinay ang pag-infiltrate sa water pabaso sa mga clay soils because if sandy soils lang god, wala kayo ma-form na basin. Diretso na sila, mga puro masuno. Infiltrate na sila tanan. So, pali rice grows best wherein ang roots niya ay submerged in water. Yan ang limitations. Kaya again, not always manggod na flat ang inyong surface. So, if hilly areas, tas magtanong ka guys, not always flat. So, it requires land grading or shaping ka na ilang yung ipa-flat nila ang area. Also, labor requirement is high because to form these bonds, to form this tilapia, it requires labor. And it is not suitable, kaning basin irrigation, hindi siya suitable sa mga crops na dili ka kaya o nga ay standing water ka na magpumulan sa tubig. So, pwede rin siya sa rice, sa mga kangkong. So, dili pwede yung mga patatas diri, yung mga kamote. Eh, kung uh, stagnant ang tubig sa imong kamote, malata ang iyahang kamote itself. So, dili pwede mga carbs. So, dili pwede yung mga root crops basically sa basin irrigation. Lata man sila pag pumul sila sa standing water. Next type is your furrow irrigation. So furrow irrigation wherein water flows through small channels. Water is allowed to flood through the small channels called furrows between raised ridges. So kani siya ang ridges kung asa kagatanog og crop nimo. Pag imong medyo siya ana. Imong furrow tapos kaana siya. Curve tapos like that. Mo ni mga ridge, mo ni mga furrow. So raised ang imong kinalot dari imong itatong sa imong ditch. So water is allowed to flood through the furrows. Furrows kung asa sila mo dagan ng tubig, ridge kung asa gata ng mga crops. So that water wet the ridges gradually. So iyang flow ang moisture dili sa kilid tapos eventually magamit sa imong crops. So dili jud ang imong crops lang isububuan pero kung dili ka itong iyang surrounding soil. Now, this is done on a gentle slope to avoid soil erosion. Dili pwede if hilyang area because if magpadagan lang ko kasi mga furrow, there's the tendency na if hilly ang slope, prone siya to erosion. Madala tong mga soil sa starting point kung asagad-sagad ang imong irrigation sa furrow. Tapos, pag abot dito sa umon, mag-deposit na dayon sa dulo ang imong soil. So, dili po siya pwede sa mga hilly areas. Gentle slope lang. Dili po sa plainly flat because your water will not flow. Somehow, gentle slope, one, 1 degree or 2 degrees na slope. So, it is suitable for crops like maize, mga mais, mga sugarcane. So, big sugarcane plantation dito sa Luzon, dati getong wala pa ang sprinkler or ang drip irrigation, faro irrigation ang ilang ginagamit. And tobacco, which are widely grown in Davao and other parts of Mindanao. So, faro irrigation, pwede pa dyan sa tomato, eggplant rather. So, you should take note that faro irrigation is suitable to moist soils except sand. Similar reason sa basin irrigation, sand soils are usually avoided for this method kasi may tendency na mag-infiltrate lang sa start, dili na mo flow ang inyong water sa dulo sa inyong furrow. So, dari mo source, tapos mag-infiltrate ta na ng water, wala nang run off na may or what, di na mag-flow ang water padala sa inyong furrow. This is just double the sand. So again, water is supplied by running small streams. Can you run small streams and furrows between the couples or ridges? So the advantage of this irrigation is that your water, yung contact ng lupa mo sa water is only one half. So dili siya plainly standing water dyan, unlike your basin na lubog perme. So it also um, reduce labor requirement because instead na maglakaw-lakaw pa ka sa dulo para to irrigate your land, dito na ka sa starting point sa mga furrow. Dili ang start sa furrow, dili na ka magpaagal. Tapos if ma-reach yung sa dulo, talong na din yung source, which leads to reduced labor and less waste of land sa mga ditches. Next is our border irrigation. So border irrigation divides fields into long parallel strips called borders. So, water is turned on at the top. Water is turned on at the top and ends run down a strip. So this allows better control and is used in large fields growing crops. Pag naman moras diri siya kay walay standing water, pero diri ra ang paaga sa tubig because eventually this water will seep padulong dito sa side. Dira siya padulong. Tapos if mag-agas ang tubig, dari po siya padalong. So, kani siya, dili na nimo siya pa butangan og tubig. Dili lang yung paagas sa tubig. So, mahagi mo og furrow pero relatively larger. So, each strip is irrigated independently by turning the water in the upper end. So, kung yung mga water supply ditch, tapos na siya source, open siya, dili siya paagas. Tapos, if ma-irrigate na din ang water diri, salada na po. Pero kani siya, kani mo ni mong water supply ditch. Tapos kada strip kinaka-group na sila. Pero dili siya na standing water. Ginapaagas lang nimo slowly ginapaagas ang tubig each border. Kani mo supply ditch tapos na ni siya entrance diri. Ginagamit ni siya sa mga again, mga legumes, sa mga sugarcane, mga plantation crops na mag-open lang ka og entrance dito mag-flow ang water tapos pag okay na, saradaan, paano po, next trip na po. And the second method of irrigation is your sprinkler irrigation. So it is also called overhead irrigation. So sprinkler irrigation can go sa pinaka-basic ng katong sprinkler cans na to the more sophisticated setup, kani complete sprinkler setup. So your sprinkler irrigation sprays water over crops like rain. So it somehow mimics rainfall using pipes, kani mga pipes and your rotating head. So mag-ikot na rin mga sprinkler. So it saves up to 25 to 50% of water and also reduces runoff because slowly man mo ginapas sprinkle ang more maka-rainfall nga mild rainfall. Not different from your surface irrigation na dinagkuan ang aga sa tubig gihapon, very slowly siya. So, somehow mimics a mild rainfall. The water is pumped through a pipe system, the removing source, pipe system, and then sprayed into crops too. So, you have your main line, your lateral line, tapos from each lateral line, you can have your riser pipe, wherein dito mag-locate ang inyong rotating head, which mimics now the rainfall. So, siya shower. So, it has no risk of runoff or erosion. So, however, ang sprinkler irrigation, since it is sophisticated, it requires high capital investment. So, kailangan siya dagko na kwarta. So, this type of irrigation is typically employed na lang sa mga high-value cash crop. So, pwede sa mga vegetables, itong mga short lang ang mga tanom, itong mga dinagwaan na sa mga dagwaan ng plantation, tomato, sa Del Monte, mga sweet pepper, mga atsal nimo, yung mga palaya, it can be applicable to katong mga potatoes, mga onions, and lettuce. Lettuce na open field. So, the advantage of your sprinkler irrigation kasi is that water is applied in a consistent manner. So, sabay sila makadawat og same amount of water. It's different from your surface irrigation na mas daghan ng makuha ng water ang katong duol sa source kapos kung duol sa imong ditch. Daghan ng makuha og water diri compared sa katungan sa dulo sa ditch. But in your sprinkler irrigation, water is applied in a consistent manner. So, also, pwede na siya, suitable na siya sa mga hilly areas or katong mga naay areas na steep ang slope because pag steep ang slope, dili pa pwede mag-surface irrigation kay dali siya ma-erosion, prone to erosion. So, if steep na slope, you can apply sprinkler irrigation kasi gentle lang man ang manner sa pag-apply nimo og water. However, ang iyang disadvantage kay again, it entails cost. Kani pa lang ang setup, it entails cost. And also, parehas sa imong ulan, no? Di ba? Pag sakto lang ang ulan, tapos hanginon, dali siya mong sway. So, if paano ang kulog sa ulan, kusog ang hangin patakilid. So, the risk of your sprinkle irrigation if dili siya suitable sa mga areas na very windy. Kusog ang hangin because there's tendency na dili na uniform ang pag-distribute sa imong water because dito na mapunta sa lying areas o katong areas na dapat niya na tubigan dili na mga nakadawat of water. So your efficiency now in sprinkler irrigation is affected by your wind and higher evaporation losses ng food ang mo kuha nimo by spraying water kay since droplets na lang man ang ma-reach, pwede na tendency labi nag-init ang panahon, dili na tanan mapunta sa surface, modetso na siya o ka-evaporate padulong sa imong hydrologic cycle. So it is also not suitable for tall crops like sugarcane or katong mga habog fruit trees kay syempre pwede man siya. However, dako siya nga cost because magpa-riser pipe pa ka tapos pag tall crops dili na mapunta sa surface ang mga tubig dito na magpabilin sa mga leaves. So it's somehow suitable lang sa mga small or medium plant tall na mga crops, not that tall. And then the last type of irrigation is what we call drip irrigation. So, kanina siyang recent, trendy, and your drip irrigation is the most efficient system ever because diretso, ang iyahang kuan kay diretso na mapunta sa root zone sa imong crop ang imong tubig. So, it is also called trickle irrigation. Mura kaga patulo lang og tubig. The droplets lang og tubig sa you have your crop, tapos diretso na sa droplets ang imong irrigation. So, your drip irrigation is based on the fundamental concept wherein ang pag-irrigate sa imong crop kay dito ra sa root zone kung asa ihulog diretso rather than the entire land kasi di pa pag kita magpa bisbis ta, apilon man lang tibok area. Ang drip irrigation, dito ra jud mo kasi nakatanaman ng crop dito ra pud siya. Maintaining the water content sa root zone at near optimal level. So, tama-tama lang ang amount of water. So, drip irrigation applies water slowly. It is the frequent, slow application of water directly to the land surface or to the root zone of the crop. So, it can deliver fertilizers and herbicides mixed with water. Pag herbicide pang wala sa mga weeds, sa mga dili maayo sa mga crops, ang mga weeds or mga undesired plants na nagatubo daw sa mga plants. So, if i-mix siya with irrigation water, that's what we call herbigation. Pag fertigation, it is fertilizer plus irrigation. Now, take note that drip irrigation is the most efficient system and is useful in mga high-value crops like fruits na ginapatubo sa mga greenhouse, sa mga big plantations. I think ang pineapple ata. Or if ever you visit a big farm and makita mo muna yung mga hose bitaw na nakabaon sa ilalim. Drip irrigation na ilang gina-employ. So one example, the closest drip irrigation, the facility that uses drip irrigation there is Mati I've ever been to is also another farm. That's a different farm kapag sa Faro sa eggplant. Pero it's another farm. Kasi nga natin nila farm. But somehow, Purok Pakisama, I'm not mistaken. Basta somewhere sa Purok sa barangay science. Unahan na dapit na sa kuan. Sa where ginadump ng mga trash. Pero there, na sila ay greenhouse facility. And then they plant honeydew melon. Honeydew melon na tanom tapos the crop. And then ilang gi-apply kay drip irrigation. So honey melon ni diretso na siya sa kuan root zone sa imong honey melon. So yung mga advantages because dili na kinahanglan ng blood level sa balag takilid ang mga kuan or pwede na pots lang. Pwede ang moderate irrigation. And also dili siya gasto og tubig kay yung mga water na gina-supply kay katulad jud sa imong requirements sa imong crop. And also, ang ilang ginabuhat kay ginasagol na nila ginatunaw na nilang fertilizer sa irrigation water para isa na o apply. However, since this required, kinahanglan na rin kayo siya kag-filtered water, nga na-filter because dili pwede nga dagko na yung mga minerals and yung mga other unwanted particles, mga suspended elements, suspended solids sa mga water because it could block itong mga emitter. If instead na mag-drip siya, since na bangilan man or katong mga suspended solids, ma-fail na namin mga system. So it entails high initial cost and your drippers or your emitters are prone to blockage. So kailangan siya i-monitor from time to time if tama pa ba ang tulo sa iyahang water. So now that we've covered the main types of irrigation methods, your surface, your sprinkler, and your trickle irrigation or your drip irrigation, it is now important for us to understand the key structures that support this system. So these hydraulic structures are installed in open canal irrigation networks. So ilang function ay mga structures na to. Mainly kani siya suitable sa katong mga surface irrigation na to. Wherein, from the river or from a dam, kana sa mga pa-irrigation ng National Irrigation Administration, gina-divert na nato ang water. So, these hydraulic structures, ilang purpose kay first is to control and manage water flow, so control and measure the discharge. Also, control water levels, kung pataas or pababa, and then making sure that the right amount of water the river, the right volume of water, right amount of water reaches the fields at the given time. So your irrigation canals have hydraulic structures again para mabuhat niya ang mga functions. So, unsa man tong mga common structures ato silang isa-isahon. So first diri tas itong ginatawag og diversion dam. So what is a diversion dam? Diversion dam is an overflow structure. It is a structure provided across the river or creek. If you have your river, your diversion dam is built across a river or creek to raise the water level. So if you have a river, magtukod kang diversion dam to raise that water level for us to be able to divert some amount of water from that river towards the canals, your main canal padulong sa irrigation system. So diversion dam is common in parts of Mindanao where rivers such as your Agusan River or your Davao River provides irrigation water. So ang example sa diversion dam kay diri sa Mawab Davao de Oro. So this is a recent project year 2024 or 2023 ata. So it is in Barangay Bawani, Mawab Davao de Oro wherein nagtukod ang Department of Agriculture. This is a project or the Bawani Small Rice Farmers Association nga ang ilang gibuhat kay since river supply ni and your river kasi the supply of your river di ba your surface water kay sometimes um dili siya consistent yang flow dili consistent yung amount now it depends on your hydrologic event if kusog ang ulan kusog ang agos sa imong river or habog ang level sa imong river now your diversion dam yung purpose kay is to make sure na diri na level kay somehow uniform ang amount of water. Before siya mapunta dito sa ubos, gina-make sure na consistent lang ang amount of water diari para enough ang amount of water papunta sa mga canals nato. So kani siya, it is also, I've been here back in year 2023 when we had our field trip sa undergrad na mo. So, it is a big project. Year 1970 ni siya nitukod but you can see dako kay ni siya ni diversion dam ni siya. Tapos para kusog ang agas of water diri kay siya more man nag-ana in diversion dam somehow like that para habog ang water level diari. So siya magtapok before siya mo flow sa other parts sa river. Diri na part habog siya to allow diversion towards other main canals. Kasi pagbaba ang level sa imong water manggod, dili na siya moadto dito sa mga other canals where asa siya i-divert. If consistent na habog ang level sa imong tubig, pwede na siya makaflow by gravity. So diversion dam could go into a if you have this river, a diversion dam can be as simple as magtukod kag outlet papunta sa small diversion nimo or you can divert a water from your simple diversion by pumping water papunta sa upper areas or magtukod na ka og structure. So kani siya para consistent ang flow of water. Kay if mangod wala ni siya nga diversion dam, may tendency na dili na mo flow diari because pag hinay ang tubig, wala na. Kanang murag syempre pag baba, di na siya mabot sa upper level. So if taas daan ay mga water level near your diversion, so it allows flow of water by gravity na. This weir structure is permanent kani siya kay earthen lang ata ni siya. The second class of irrigation structure is what we call head gate or intake structure. Now, from your diversion dam, the purpose of your head gate is to control the water flow. Kilid sa diversion dam, kilid siya diversion dam ni dere, yung purpose kay mo siya gate sa balay wherein dito na siya pato na nga tubig ang papunta dito sa mga pa-irrigation system kaya mga dagko ng mga kanal ng irrigation diri na siya. So your head gate is the gate for controlling water flow into a channel. So the farmers irrigation managers open or close this gate. Pag gina-close nila pag hinayang aga sa tubig or kanang tapos nung sila paaga sa irrigation, gina-close nila. Sometimes gina-open ni if kusog ang aga sa river pod also. Tapos pwede na mag-overflow. So, dito na siya sa mga kanal. So, the purpose of your head gate, first is to meter the amount of flowing water, is to measure pila unsa ka kusugon unsa ka ang volume sa water nga mapasulod sa imong kanal. Also, gina-close ni siya para ang imong mga kanal, if kusog na ang agad tubig sa mga kanal, dili mag-overflow, so gina-close ni siya. Or gina-open ni siya para if baba na ang tubig sa kanal, dili kanal nga hugaw hatong ginatok ng kanal kaya itong mga irrigation canal. So, an intake structure without a dam can be used. If wala kay dam kaning structure, pwede rin siya may-use if small lang. So, kani siya na intake structure dira. Kani po siya, napon ni siya intake structure. Kaniyang intake structure. Pupunta na sa part. Okay, this intake structure, this is also an intake structure. Kani intake structure without a dam, this is an intake structure with a dam. So, it doesn't require a dam if small portion lang sa stream flow ang kwaon. Third is your check gate. Your check gate from your river, kani siya from your river, mani siya imong head gate. Your check gate from the canal nang gikan sa river, yung purpose na noon is to raise the upstream water level in the canal. Ipasaka para mo level dito sa other channel. If dito ang source, ginasirado ni siya para makaabot dito sa unahan ang tubig, or pag habog ang tubig tapos gikinahanglan po kag water supply di ari na area, ginapasakat po ni siya. So your check gate, ang purpose lang is to raise the upstream water level in the canal during periods of low ang agas to enable flow of water papunta sa other canals, because if wala man gud ni siya, di na tendency nga dili na mo reach ang imong irrigation water sa other areas. Your purpose of your check-it is to, siyempre, kung alihan ni bangilan ni mong tubig, dali siya musaka. Pag open siya, dili siya kayo musaka. So, iyang ginapapundo sa daan ang tubig. Tapos, pag kusog na, habog na ang tubig, pwede din ang siya open. So, basically, your check gate, check lang niya na, i-make sure niya na habog ang consistent ang amount of water levels in ang upstream. Fourth is your turnout. So, your turnout is an intake structure in irrigation canals or water passes through. Kung ang imong head gate kay sa river, ay imong check gate sa main canal, after your river katong main canal, your turnout is katon magkagamay na no siya. Dito na siya sa mga farmer areas na dayon. From your main canal, katong dagko nga kanal sa irrigation water, then pag sa dagko na kanal, na gamay na kanal na pod, wala na siya imong turnout. So, kung ang imuhang head gate, kimura ni siya national road, no, kanang highway, imong check gate mo ni siya ang dalan pasulod. So, gikan sa highway, pasulod na ni sa University Avenue, papunta na ka sa Martinez. Ang imong turnout mo ni siya ang dalan papunta sa mga phase. Di ba? Wala siya yung na. Ang big road, ang river, dito ang head gate ang naa. Ang check gate sa katong dalan na pang Martinez, turn out, punta sa mga phases ka sa mga sulod-sulod. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So, yung purpose lang kay to monitor the water that passes through and discharges into the service area. Next structure is your drop or chute. Yung purpose kay to diffuse the force of falling water. Sa mga canals na habog ka, ayun, labi na steeping kayo, kusog ang aga sa tubig. Now, to minimize the flow of water, para to dissipate that energy, magkuhan sila og mga haimon sila hagdanan. So the purpose of it is to safely carry water from a higher canal to a lower canal while reducing speed and energy. So resulting from the drop in elevation. Pag kasi slopey area tapos wala ni siya, smooth ang dagan sa inyong tubig. Pag nakay hagdan-hagdanan, syempre dili kay nga nakasog na hanggang sa inyong water. So your drop or chute, kadara ginagamit mo siya sa mga hilly areas or mga terraces, sa mga farm sa Bukidnon para dili kay nga nakasog. It could be concrete or pwede ra pud siya earthen kanang alihan lang na nila og mga lupa tapos alihan og mga kahoy-kahoy para dili kayo kusog ang aga sa tubig. Dili ka siya makakos. Pag kusog bang good, siya makakos og intense flooding dito sa lower area. Para tama-tama lang ang agas ng tubig. Siyempre, pag makilid, paspas na din ang agas. Now, next class is your flume. So, your flume is a measuring structure made as a wide siya sa sugod, tapos mo flat section over a canal where water can be monitored accurately. Bulos lang sa flume kay kaning berm, kaning small area, diri ni siya mabutang og mga instrument, mga engineers, or the hydrologist, or anyone that is concerned in measuring the amount of water sa isa ka irrigation canal. Dali na sila mag-measure. Kaya dali na siya alihan. So, basically, the purpose of your flume is to measure where canal measure structure regarding the volume of water and the speed or the velocity of the water flow. Another measuring structure is a weir. Ang pulos lang sa weir kay if imong flume kay mura ra siya na-constrict na kanal mo, siya na fit and right. Ano hang weir kay is a measuring structure wherein mag-construct na gid sila o mag-alihan nila o somewhere na nag-U shape. Measuring structure placed across the open channel to constrict the flow and allow it to pass over the crest. Para pag-measure sa flow, diri na siya i-measure ang flows in ng water. Kasi mong weir, ay mong flume diri na part sa constriction. Mong weir, diri sa part wherein, since naalihan diri, ma-concentrate ang amount of water diri na part. So it helps irrigation managers or engineers or hydrologists to monitor the amount of water delivery. Next class of structure is your inverted siphon. So ang imong inverted siphon, it is a closed pipe system or closed conduit that carries water under a depression. Press ani na dalan, or it could be under a depression or under a road or any other obstacle. Tapos ipa-channel nimo ang tubig dito sa other side. Now, we have two types man ni siya pag channel of under. Tubig ni, tapos may dalan dara, or may depression, or na ay under mo, baba siya. Closed pipe system ni siya wherein pressurized ang water since panaong siya, kusog ang agas. Tapos, para mosaka na deari na part, since pressurized man diri, dili ra gid magpundo diri ang tubig. Paspas niyang dagan, nara siya ay by yahang gina-rely on kay pressure difference. Kusog man ang pressure diri, so masustain niya ang kapustunon sa pressure para magawas na sa other side sa ang road or sa depression. So, closed conduit can designed to convey canal in full and under pressure running condition to convey canal water by gravity under natural depression. Imong road crossing, mara siya o similar sila sa inverted siphon pero not necessarily pressurized ang agas sa tubig. Kusog ang agas. Convey, simple mag-convey lang na siya og water under roads or railroads. So, dili siya necessary nga pressurized ang flow. So, it allows irrigation water gyapon to pass. Kasagaran ginagamit kani yung mga nakita tinatawag na to reinforced concrete pipe nga tama lang ang agos sa tubig or sa bagay siya. At kanang imbornal. So, when you talk about road crossing, usually imbornal na lang ginagamit na. Magbaon sila RC pipe, reinforced concrete pipe, tapos ilalom sa dalan para makaagi ang tao. Tapos sino lang, agos tubig. Pag mo yung pag-inverted siphon, kusog na iyang agas. Pressurize ang iyang tubig. Puno na siya always, walay air sa imong pipe. Kung muna mong pipe, puno na siya ang tubig. Unlike your road crossing, if muna mong reinforced concrete pipe, yung water level somehow nara-dere pa. So, ito siya nga to ang mga classes of irrigation structures. Now, with the irrigation systems and structures in place, na-discuss na nato ang methods of irrigation, na-discuss na nato ang mga irrigation structures. The next question na nato is, how well do these systems, sa imong irrigation system, use water? So, to answer that question, we now measure what we call irrigation efficiencies. So, these efficiencies help us evaluate or how effective our water is conveyed, how effective ang irrigation water was delivered from the river towards the canal or from the canal towards your farm or from your farm towards your crop. So how efficient was it? So that we can improve our system, we can improve the performance of our water resources. So when you talk about irrigation efficiencies, to irrigation. Usually, katong mga irrigation structures and your irrigation efficiencies, dali na siya na part sa mga surface irrigation. Why? Because mga drip irrigation, diretso naman na siya. Your sprinkler irrigation, your surface irrigation, hindi siya ang part sa din siya sa jurisdiction yapon sa government. Kadalas sa mga rice fields, siya kasagalan gina-employ. Now, your surface irrigation streams are designed and operated to satisfy the irrigation water requirements. So, water na itinahalan sa inyong crop of each field by controlling deep percolation while controlling all losses. So, losses would include percolation, kung dili na magamit sa inyong crop, runoff, kung excess water, dili magamit sa inyong crop, evaporation, katong parts sa water nga well mag-flow, or evaporate siya dito sa atmosphere, and also the operational losses, kanang mga spillage na to. Now, the performance of the system is determined by how efficient the water was conveyed to the steam from the headworks, to the head gate, to the check gate, to the turnout, distributed within the steam and applied to the field, and by the adequacy or the uniformity of water na applied. So, they have different types. They have conveyance, application, water use, and also wala natin diri ang water storage. Katapos isa-isa ang atong ginatawag kong irrigation efficiency. So, first type is what we call conveyance efficiency. Conveyance efficiency, by definition, is the ratio between water received at the inlet for a block of field to the release at the project's network. Or in simple terms, your conveyance efficiency just measure how much water released from the source, released from the river, actually reaches your farm. So from the source, from the river, from the dam, pila ang isa ka-efficient, ang pila ang percentage nga naabot na dito sa imong farm. So it is given by the formula EC. So your conveyance efficiency is equal to the water delivered, the water received at the farm, WD, water received at the farm over water diverted. So it could be the water delivered from the farm could be equal or less than the water received, but never mahitabo ang water received sa farm would be greater than the water diverted. Gikan, not unless na rainfall na appeal. Pero itong ginapapani kay plainly irrigation water na. So, dili ito pwede, dili possible na ang water na dawat nimo sa farm ay greater na noon sa water na imuhang gi-divert. Because we're not taking into account katong other water na yung sources. For example, na surface water, na ulan, pwede siya. Pero in all cases, constant, labot yung other water sources nimo. Kaya, not possible yun na always less than ang imuhang either less than or equal ang imong water received sa farm sa imong na-divert ng water. So, okay, example ana. Example of that is, for example, sa imong irrigation system, around 1,000 cubic meter ang tubig nga imuhang divert gikan sa river. Now, imuhang tubig nga nadawat pag-apan measuring gamit sa imong flumer, sa imong weir, nadawat ni mga tubig sa imong farm kay around 850 na lang. 850 cubic meter. So, 850 man tong water received at the farm, yung 1,000 cubic meter mo tong water na i-divert down nimo gikan sa river, sa same source. Now, when you talk about conveyance efficiency, 850 over 1,000 times 100 is equal to 85%. So this means that 85% of the water is conveyed successfully. Asa man tong remaining, ang 15%, it could be nimo siya o nawala na nimo siya, losses na siya before pa lang naabot na sa field, naabot sa imong farm ang imong water. But ang 15% losses to siya, pwede nga guba ang inyong kanal or sa pwede nga na inamuha og tubig mo pag ikabot sa imong farm na nagkuha og tubig, it could be um, nag-seep na siya, nag-percolate siya kay mga kanal kay dili siya concrete, certain siya. So, basta 85% lang sa tubig mo divert mo gikan sa imong source or sa imong reservoir or sa imong river, 85% lang ang nadawat mo sa imong farm. Next is itawag na to og application efficiency. Efficiency. Application efficiency is the ratio of the average depth of irrigation water infiltrated and stored in the root zone to the average depth of irrigation water applied. Basically, your application efficiency shows how much of the water delivered sa farm. So, how much of the water delivered sa farm is actually absorbed and stored sa crop for use. So, gikan na tama na naman sa kanya siya, water nga diverted tapos over water na ay water received over water na diverted. Kani siya, water na stored na sa imong crop, so na nata sa farm na level, over the water na imong na receive sa farm. So, it is affected by the rate of the supply of water. It could also be affected by the infiltration rate of your soil. It could also be affected by land leveling. Say, for example, um, dili tanan tubig nga receive sa farm kay gamay ra ang naabot dito sa dulo sa imong crop because nasagdan mo by flow of gravity tapos relatively flat imong surface or kanang temperature dahil daghan other factors. So, as an example, how to compute your application efficiency. EA ni siya. EA. Application efficiency is EA. Your conveyance efficiency is EC. Application efficiency is EA. Now, how to compute? So, first atong example, kung kani siya imong nadawat sa farm, 850 cubic meter ang imong receive. Ang imong diverted kay 1K. 1,000 cubic meter. That's so hard to write. Okay, so from the 850 cubic meter na imong nadawat farm, water received na sa farm, upon measuring, only 680 cubic meter ang nagamit or na-infiltrate na store dito sa root zone sa imong crop. So the formula of EA or application efficiency is the amount of water stored in the soil root zone over the amount of water delivered to the system. Now, upon measuring, 680 daw ang na-store sa root zone, 850 ang nadawat na sa farm. So, what is the application efficiency? So, 680 divided by 850, ilan 680 divided by 850 is 80%. Ito siya sa ganina kay 85%. So, 80%. So, unsa kasabot aning 80%? Which means that 80% of the water applied is effective sa plants or sa mga crops. So, 20% could be lost by runoff. It could be lost due to evaporation. Wala pa siya napunta sa crop, na-evaporate na siya. Or it could be percolation. Percolation or evaporation. Loss. So, ito siya imong application efficiency. So, EA is equal to water stored over water received or delivered by the system. Next is water use efficiency. So it is defined by the ratio of the depth of irrigation water beneficially used to the depth of irrigation water delivered to the farm. So what WB EU, or water use efficiency, is equal to WD for the amount of water beneficially used over the amount of water delivered to the farm. So this efficiency, simple sa water use, focuses on how much water is beneficially used by the crops. Pwede mag-good na ubang water kay ito siya sa stored ni siya sa root zone. Pag water use efficiency na yung ubang water nga dili siya beneficial sa crop. Like napunta siya sa imong weeds, napunta siya sa mga losses, or dili ang imong crop mo nakapahimulos. Na-store siya sa root zone, pero dili imong crop mo nakapahimulos. So for example, sa 850 cubic meter nga na-deliver sa farm or na-receive sa farm, 850 man to kagani na itong example, amount na daw of ang nagamit ra gyud actual na nagamit sa imong crop kay 600 cubic meter. So ang imong kani 680 mo to siya napunta sa root zone sa soil. Pero dili man ka to na napunta sa root zone sa soil kay imong crop na nakahimulos. Sometimes pwede siya nga maatis na weed. 600 cubic meter lang daw ang actual na nagamit sa inyong crops or beneficially used. So your EU now is 600 divided by 80 is 71%, which means that only 71% of the water is put to good use. Good use. The rest, or the 19%, the 19% could be lost or unused. Lost, unused, or kanon. Wala siya nagamit sa imong plants. Basically, napundo na siya or wala siya nagamit sa iyang cycle. Last is what we call the water storage efficiency. ES siya. Again, correction na. Conveyance, EC. Application efficiency, EA. Water use efficiency, EU. Water storage is ES. So it is the ratio of the average depth of irrigation water infiltrated and stored in the root zone to the required depth of irrigation water. Now, each crop has a required depth of irrigation water. Ang kanyang depth of irrigation water, the amount of water required for each crop, is given by yung gitawag ko po o evapotranspiration. So, the evaporated water and the transpiration katong water na gina-transpire sa inyong mga crops. Now, kanyang depth of irrigation water, again, it is just equal to evapotranspiration. Take note ha. So the water storage efficiency compares the water stored in the root zone to the water actually needed. So ES is given by the amount of water stored to the amount of water needed. So it could be kasi minsan the amount of water stored could be less than the amount of water needed. The amount of water stored pwede po siya ma-equal sa inyong water needed. So what you should take note lang is kanyang efficiency, ang pinaka-efficient is 100%. So, dili pwede, it's not possible. For example, your application efficiency, mas dako ang imong amount of water stored kontra sa amount of water delivered. Because we're only limited to the irrigation water. We're not taking into account rainfall. We're not taking into account other water, but the water lang, itong irrigated water. So the maximum amount of each efficiency is always 100. Kung tama na siya, always 100 if equal sila. Yung water stored o water delivered sa farm. Dili na siya pwede manghitabo nga mo greater than 100. Greater than 100. Dili na siya pwede manghitabo. Because always, when we talk about efficiency in percent, so dili pwede nga, mas ako ang inyong water stored, there's something wrong with your calculation. So you should take note that efficiency maximum is 100. Similarly, the water storage efficiency, it could be that the water stored in the root zone is less than the water amount needed or just equal. So for example, water stored in the root zone was 680. So example na to. Ang beneficially used is 600, but 680 ang water stored sa root zone. Now, ang kinahanglanan daw sa mga tanong actually yung requirement is 700 cubic meter. So, 680 over 700 times 100 is equal to 97.1 or 97.1%. So this means that almost all of the required water is stored in the soil, indicating good irrigation time. So generally, overall, kapag sa mga upat na efficiencies, should take note that maximum efficiency is 100. So it could be that in the numerator, it could be only less than or equal to the denominator because we're not taking into account ang rainfall, rainwater, and other additional source which also waters crops. We're only taking into account irrigation water. Now, some mga factors na mag-affect sa efficiency. Sometimes poor land leveling, hindi patag na yung mga lupa or very hilly or may mga hills niya nga may mga depressions. Hindi patag na yung hills, pundo na dito ang water na ipon din. So, pwede po na different soil types along the furrows or the border states or pwede po na dili so wala yung mga lupa. Muto siya ang upat ka issue. Sorry, I had to take a short break. Okay, so after this, okay, tapos na tayo sa irrigation. After understanding Okay, so after understanding irrigation, which is the artificial application of water, the controlled supply of water to our crops to support their optimum growth, it is now important for us to discuss agricultural drainage. So, while irrigation provides katong necessary moisture, necessary amount of water required by our plants, drainage is also equally crucial to remove excess water. Because sometimes kasi, di ba, irrigation water magol, sometimes may rainwater. So, given na ang imong gina-supply sa irrigation, it could be sometimes sobra na siya because of rainwater or sometimes because of runoff. It is important for us to remove those excess water from the soil to prevent waterlogging ang kanang permi dito mag-gley, soil gley, na tawag GLEY kanang really na standing water or permi exposed to water. So this prevents waterlogging and soil damage, especially in regions na permi maka-experience of rainfall or inefficient irrigation. So drainage is also applicable to areas na talagang na irrigation water but permi sila prone to rainfall. So in the Philippines, where we experience both wet and dry season, good drainage system is important to make sure na consistent ang amount of water ang madawat sa atong farms, sa atong mga crops, all throughout, regardless if wet or dry season, to ensure stable crop production. Okay, so this figure is just an illustration of a water balance in an irrigated area. So before irrigation water can be applied to a crop, it has to be diverted again from a river or lake. So that is diversion dam and your head gate. So kani siya yung source. Or it could be pumped from your groundwater gani. Your another source of water is through pumping can be well, either from the river or your lake, kani number one, or pumped from a groundwater. Now, the amount of water needed has to be greater than the quantity required by the crop. So, always lang, imong ginapump or imong ginadivert, okay, always na siya dapat greater than sa required. Dili na siya pwede tama-tama lang. Isa ka baso ang gikanahanglan sa imong tanom, isa pod ka baso yung i-divert because we always need to consider our losses. Dili lang siya siya what would you say 100% efficient system. In real life setting, dili na siya always 100% efficient. Pinakakuan maging efficiency kay 60% or 50%, 70%. Very highly efficient na because the nature cannot be predicted. Now, amount of water needed has to be greater than the quantity required by the crop because some of it will leave the area in various ways. So, pwede siya ma-lost through evapotranspiration, ganin. Pwede siya lost through evapotranspiration. Some of it can be lost through evaporation. Well, nagpadulong pa lang sa kanal, nag-evaporate na yung water. Pwede po siya through seepage and yung groundwater, mabalik siya dito sa mga surface water na lahi yung source. Or it could be from your operational spills, kanang mga, ano siya, yung mga sami-sami or kanang mga losses na to because sa parts of operation, like kanang mag-awas-awas, on operational spills. So, from the irrigation canal system or many other losses. In the field now, which is the field, together with your rainfall, again, your rainfall can be another source of water. Together with the rainfall, so your irrigation water can be partly stored in the soil surface. So, kapag i-revert, pwede siya ma-partly stored sa surface. Some of it will partly infiltrate your soil. Ano siya? Partly mo siya infiltrate, manaod siya, di ba? May mga infiltration. Ang 12 kay percolation. Filtration. So, yung mga irrigation water, katong diverted water, yung shaded area, diverted water, tapos your rainfall can be stored in the surface or infiltrated. Now, there is a problem when irrigation continues for long periods, or your rain will continue for long periods, may tendency nga na makapagkaw funding o mga puddles on the surface. So, this excess water, called ponded water, needs to be removed. Needs to be removed. Now, during heavy rainfall, the upper soil layers become saturated and pools form. Kapag kusog ang ulan, tapos consistent yung irrigation water, or bahalag every ulan na, may tendency nga maka-form siya og puddles or mga pool of water. So, water percolates to deeper layers and infiltrates the pools, from the pools. So, funding is an accumulation of excess water on the soil surface. Mo siya na yung mga ginagmay na ponds. Now, the problem is when all the pores are filled with water, when all the pores are filled with water, the soil is said to be saturated, maybe very infiltrated na. So, problem ana is that your crops, kani siya, for example, yung corn na siya, your crops, pag consistent, pang long term na, very siya, puno o not all crops is suitable in standing water. No. Pag always saturated ang imuhang lupa for a long period of time, at puno siya og soil moisture, the tendency is that your crops, ang roots sa mga plant, they would require air. Dili always nga dapat wet ang imuhang ay fully saturated ang mga lupa. Dapat nagya po na siya soil air because some plants, most crops cannot withstand saturated or standing water except rice. Now, if very wet ang imuhang lupa for a long period of time, may tendency nga mag-rock ang imuhang roots, may tendency nga if magbungkal ka or magbutang ka og machinery, lapok na sharp pita, so dili naka-operate ang imuhang machinery. So there is a need now to drain that excess water. So drainage is, by definition, is the removal of excess water from either from the ground surface or from the root zone. So agricultural drainage again is the removal of excess water. It prevents the formation of ponding katong mga sa surface, or it also stops waterlogging. Waterlogging is basically the accumulation of excess water in the root zone of the soil. So before irrigation, man siyang itsura, soil na saturated. Tapos if long term ang imuhang irrigation by the water flows from the saturated soil downwards, pababa iyang agas, flows downwards to the deeper layers, it feeds your water table or groundwater. Now, if daghan ang amount of water ng pagpaba, in a long period of time, may tendency na musa ka ang imuhang water table. Kanin siya. Nag-increase din siya. Muna iyahang increase. Now, this increase in water table, kanina part sa roots zone mo, kay okay lang siya for a short period of time. Pag long term, magpadayon na siya mag-increase. So as a result, your water table rises. Now, if continuous ang rain or continuous irrigation, the groundwater table may even reach ani na surface kaning imong tubig, imong moisture. Now, what happens is that if the situation lasts long, okay na siya for a short period of time because your plants, your crops need water. But if the situation lasts long, the plants could suffer, your crops could suffer. So measures are necessary to control the rise of your water table. Or basically, requirement or there's a need for us to drain the excess water. So anything in excess is bad. So an example of a drainage no, from excess water is seen in soybean plants. So an example of crop damage due to excess water during the early growth stage of soybean. So except rice, your rice can sustain in standing water. Now when your soybean fields or waterlogged or kind of pernisha, waterlogged again, accumulation of excess water. So if your soybeans is exposed to excess water or long period of standing water, may tendency na your soybeans could suffer from growth. So fewer branches, lower pods because excess water reduces air sa root zone. Kaya kinahanglan manggod pod og ventilation or air sa imong mga roots dili pwede nga compact lang siya always. Dili na nun siya maka-expand sa iyang root, di siya maka-grow. So leading to root damage and weaker plants. So dito sa Philippines, in low-lying areas sa mga baba na areas, or in the central Luzon, your central Luzon is flat, is prone to flooding during heavy rains. And this could be the problem. So emphasizing the need for a proper drainage mechanism. So if your irrigation is to supply water, if kulangan ang imong rainfall, your drainage is to drain excess water. If excess na po, if nanubra na po imong rainfall or your irrigation water. Now, what is the benefits of your drainage? It has many benefits. One of it is that it could improve crop productivity because it makes the land easier to work on. Okay, syempre, we don't want kita na lupa always. We somehow, katarang tama-tama ihang moisture. So the soil can support also heavy machinery. Tapos drainage can also boost the activity of your soil microorganisms such as your earthworms. Pag syempre po always waterlogged ang imong condition, permi siya bas pumul og tubig, it could lead to the death of your earthworms. And also, soils warm up faster, letting farmers plant crop this year. Para po imong rice imong mga seeds rather it can germinate, pwede siya mo break by the time it reaches the enough moisture, the temperature. Now, dito sa mga types of drainage, we only have two types of drainage. You have surface drainage and your subsurface drainage. Now, your surface drainage, it removes excess water from the soil surface to prevent ponding. Ang ihang surface drainage, iyang gina-remove kay katong excess water sa surface, katong mga ponds, dili katong waterlog sa baba. So this consists of digging shallow open drains or mga canals. In this system, excess water flows out naturally. So relatively, it requires somehow sloping areas para i-lead nimo ang imong lupa padulong sa drainage or sa open shallow drain. So in this system, excess water flows over artificial pag it requires land grading ka ng intervention sa tower, naturally lang siya mo-lead yung slope. To make water, to make it easier for the excess water to flow towards the drain, dapat na siya slope, so dili siya tupong. Or imagine nyo ka na sa inyong mga comfort rooms or mga bathrooms. But para mapunta dito sa drainage, ang yung tubig, dapat ang inyong floor sa inyong CR or your comfort rooms or bathrooms or your shower rooms, it should be relatively sloping para dili para katong tubig na sa pinaka na furthermost part sa the floor would lead to punta na madrain maghihapon siya. Kaya ipatag ang pagtukod sa inyong shower rooms or your comfort rooms. May tendency na dili na nun mo flow ang kinahanglan pa siya mo siya isiligan or i-guide ang water para mo drain siya naturally. So this system of drainage measures such as open drains na from to prevent ponding. Again, yung gina-prevent kay ponding or pagka magka ng medyo na yung mga ponds or mga may natapok ng tubig sa surface. So this method works well during intense rains common in wet season sa Philippines. Now, we have two types of surface drainage. It can be vegetated shallow or grass waterways. So the first part or the first um, subtype of your surface drainage is your vegetated shallow ditches. So in flat fields with poor drainage, sa mga, mga flat fields, mga tanuman sa mga potatoes or sa mga tomatoes, and any other crops, farmers dig shallow ditches with grass or vegetation to help remove surface water. So, ang imong drainage mong good, it could also be a source of water papunta sa imong other canals. Pero ang mga excess water kay dito mo dagan tas yung nagmagulan ay kapaingnan ng imong tubig, di ba? Pero dito sa Martinez, no, ang problem labi na sa mga pasulod na sa mga balay-balay so walay proper drainage system. So the tendency is that water dito gid siya mokunog or magtapok sa road. Munang ang mga roads karon ay mga ponding, yung mga bangag-bangag na dito magtapo ang water because your water will always find a way nga mo flow. So without para sa Martinez, nga walay proper drainage, so ang himong drainage nun kay kanang mga roads. So in the farms, you have to provide drainage para i-guide na nimo ang imong water, excess water kung asa sila mo flow. Pero dili sila mangita og lain nila nga dalan. So these drains lead to larger drainage channels. So kaning shallow ditches na napapunta na siya sa main drainage system. So this method is common in sa mga basakan, kanang di ba, your rice would also require drainage. Labi ng padulong na siya mag-harvest. So, ang standing water sa rice, your rice field or your basakan is drained around 2 weeks before harvest or 3 weeks. So, tanan po na sila na ay drainage system. So, common na siya ang vegetated shallow ditches sa mga rice fields to prevent water from stagnating as well. Okay? Pwede man kung habol na kayo mong tubig, so kailangan po nyo siya i-regulate. Another example, another type of surface drainage is your grass waterways. Now, your grass waterways are natural or created on low areas with vegetation used to safely carry runoff. Ang mga surface drainage, pwede siya shallow ra or kanang lupang area, but your surface drainage kay grass ang iyahang drainage. Magtanong ka o sa sagbot niyo ipaagi ang tubig. So, kita kong video sa Facebook. I don't know if you've seen it also or you can search it. Kato, ang ginabuhat nila sa mga watermelon bitaw. Sa mga plantation watermelon na may drainage. So, para dali na po mag-convey ang watermelon. Tapos, di ba, sensitive man yung watermelon kay gamay yung bikil or like more extreme force sa pag-deliver kay mabuak siya. So, ilang ginabuhat kay ang ilang drainage, kailang paagasan niya ng tubig para diri na ipaligid nila ang ilang melon. It's nice. So, duha iyang multi-purpose siya. So, deals with surface runoff in a rolling landscape without causing erosion. Kaya, ang gina-prevent niya kaya ang erosion. Kaya, if bare lang ang lupa, may tendency nga mahurot ang mga lupa diri. Kaya, ma-carry over sa sinhong water. So, if naitanom, edi over the tanom na lang, over the weeds, over the grass na lang flow ang mga water. And besides drainage, it also provides forage in animals or promotes wildlife, it promotes habitat. Useful in rolling landscape. So, kasagara ni siya, gina-employ sa Bukidnon. So, pwede ni siya sa mga pinyahan. Pero dito sa Camp Phillips kay Bear, manatapos lang ako drainage. Ako nag-isa lang. So, I'm not entirely sure. Pero, when you talk about grass waterways, it prevents the cause of soil erosion. And the last type of drainage is what we call subsurface drainage. So your subsurface drainage is the removal of excess water from the root zone by installing pipes. So, ang mga surface drainage kay sa surface lang ang excess water. Ay mga subsurface drainage, ang iyang ginakuan kay katong mga tubig sa ilalim, katong mga concentrated water para ang kato imong mga plants dili siya always humulog tubig ang iyang roots pero naagya po air. So this controls the water table and salt levels. Kasi pag walay drainage, pwede nga kaning tubig musakan ni siya dito sa ibabaw. So it is often used in heavier soils or mga clay areas where surface drainage isn't enough. So if ang pinaka-simple magod of least costly kay mga surface drainage. Now if your surface drainage is not enough, that's the time when you need to install subsurface drainage gamit ang mga pipes to remove excess water in the subsoils from the root zone. May mga surface drainage from the surface, your surface drainage prevents ponding, your subsurface drainage prevents water logging. So your surface drainage prevents ponding. Your subsurface drainage prevents water logging. Katong ginatawag og water logging. Ang ponding, surface. Ang water logging, subsurface. So installing pipes varying depths from 1 to 3 meters below. So, none siya different layouts. We have 3 layouts. Either ang pag-install nimo sa pipes could be random, it could be parallel or uniform, or it could be in a herringbone pattern, murag ikog sa isda. So, there are different pipe layouts depending on the field and the drainage needs. So, random ang layout sa imong subsurface drainage, random ang installation sa imong pipes if ang imong area kay small or irregular ang pattern. So, bukid-bukid siya, tapos na yung urban areas na hilly na yung urban areas na patag na ibang areas na mas dako. So, small or irregularly shaped area. So, pag irregular ang pattern, random siya, or smaller oddly shaped land, where formal patterns are not practical. Pag parallel, kapag uniform ang imong area, lapad, large, regularly shaped ang fields, pag pinyahan, uniform ang pagkatanom, that's when we employ parallel drainage. Pag herringbone pattern is when suitable kapag ang imong field kay narrow siya with poor permeability. Pag nipis kay siya, narrow ang imong field. Narrow irregularly shaped fields with small depression na required gihapon siya to remove excess water. Pag ang random again for small or irregularly shaped, your parallel for large regularly shaped, pag imong herringbone for narrow irregular shape with depressions. Herringbone pattern is a subset under parallel. Pero na lang siya ginawa na style. Itong sa mga pabukid, hilly areas, paana siya. So, sa Mindanao, ang ilang ginagamit kasagara kay kaning herringbone pattern. Okay, pwede hilly ganin na areas, tapos mo drain siya ani. Hilly, mo drain. Hilly siya, pero relatively irregular ang shape sa imong land and nigpis. May mga random gagmay lang. So, the location of the outlet is vital to the proper removal of water. Because minsan, kasi in a subsurface drainage system, your water flows from the lateral pipes padulong gikan sa underground papunta sa gawas. Mahimo na din siyang papunta sa surface mga kanal. Now, what happens when your subsurface drainage outlet flow into a drainage ditch? Ano siya? Kung tama ang pagka-locate sa imong outlet. Minsan, ang imuhang drainage ditch kay mas level siya sa imuhang gawsanan. So, by that time, sometimes the field is nearly flat with insufficient slope. So, ang imuhang pipe, di na siya moagos tanan. So, that's when the time you need to require pump outlet, mag-pump na ka, para katong ipatag ang imuhang lupa. Tapos, dili kay mo flow ang water. Mo nang ipump ang katong tubig para magawas na siya pusa. Maragog ka nang gadrain ka o kasi nang ginakonstruct madalan sa mga highways ka nang mag din sila. Ginapump na nila ang tubig para kusa na siya mo drain. Dili na i-allow lang na magsalig sa flow of gravity para ma-drain ang water. So the effective removal of excess water allows crop roots to grow deeper without drowning. Again, pag undrained kasi, ganito ang itsura ng inyong crop. constrained or limited ang growth sa imong roots. So, dili man siya motubo sa mga puno o water-saturated areas di wala ng space. Now, its drain condition, it allows your roots to grow. So, it strong po ang root system, promote po siya sa growth sa imong crop without drowning. So, reducing the risk of crop damage. So, well-aerated soil, access moisture deeper in soil. So, that's all about drainage. And what I want you to take note is that the golden rule of drainage states that drain only the amount of water that is necessary for crop production and not a drop more. It means that too much drainage can remove valuable water. Dili pwede nga i-drain na to tanan ang tubig. We only drain those excess amount of water na atong magpabilin ng taong tubig na kinahanglan sa imong crop growth. So, however, too much rain again can remove valuable water. So, we must find a balance to avoid drying our soils too much while also preventing waterlogging and flooding. So, that's all about irrigation and drainage principles. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to consult me at my office. And thank you